accuracy. Accuracy is when the facts that are given to the audience are reliable and correct. This is so that the audience knows that what they are being told is true. This is important to the producer, as the audience could accuse the producer of lying to them and giving them false information. This is also important to the audience, as anything that is told to them they are likely to believe, so they want the correct information.
An example of accuracy used in a factual television program would be Nuclear Secrets. This is because the show uses archive footage showing the audience that this event did really occur and that what they've been told is true.
Balance within a factual television program is when they show both sides of the arguments on one topic. This is so that everyone can see information from the different sides. This is important to the producer, as they want to show both sides of the argument to their audience, so that the audience can see who is correct, who isn't, and they can determine their own opinion from it. This is also important to the audience, as they want to be able to see all the correct information that's given to them and want to know why someone thinks the other way about something and why they don't think that way, so that they can also determine their own information and their own point of view.
An example of balance would be Question Time. This is because it shows different sides of the argument. In the first clip, you see the woman say that Scotland should be independent from England and should be able to do their own things. In the second clip, you see the man say no, that Scotland should still stay a part of England as it would benefit them.
Impartiality is when they tell you both sides of the story without favouring a side. This is important to the producer, as they don't want to be seen as taking one person's side of the argument. They want to show the audience that they are equally on both sides. This is also important to the audience, as they want to know both sides of the story and be able to make their own decision and opinion on the topic.
An example of impartiality would be a news report, as a news reporter would expect to keep their opinions hidden. An example of this would be the Sandy Hook shooting, as the reporters would discuss how the feelings of the people who were directly there and who survived the shootings, and of the families who lost someone in the shooting.
Objectivity is when the factual television program or documentary is focusing more on the facts rather than one's own opinion. Subjectivity, however, is when they discuss different perspectives, different views, and other people's opinions. This is important to the producer, as they want to make sure that they can show the audience that they not only give facts to them, but they can also show them other people's perspectives on this topic. This is also important for the audience, as by seeing the different perspectives and opinions and views on that topic, and also having facts to back it up, they can also determine their own opinion whilst looking at an expert and seeing what they think on the topic.
An example of objectivity and subjectivity would be Watchdog. This is because Anne, the presenter, discusses the facts, so if someone is dealing with fraud, the audience can see this. But at times, when having an interview, she also voices her own opinion.
Opinion is when the people on the show discuss their own opinions on the topic or subject. This is important to the producer, as they want to be able to show the audience that a topic may not just affect an everyday person. This could also affect someone who's got a high-paying job, or someone who is high up in the world. This also shows the audience that there are people who, like them, suffer from these things, but also people who they may not suspect suffer from these things. This allows the audience to gain an opinion on not only the person, but on the topic that they're being told about.
An example of opinion would be free speech. This is because the presenter asks a live audience what questions that they want answered, which is then given to the panel to discuss their own opinions on that topic.
Bias is when the show only describes one side of the argument and only gives you those facts to back it up. This is important to the producer as they want to show the audience that this is the side of the topic subject that is the right side to choose, and this is the side that's most important in the what's going on in current news. This is important to the audience as they may sway their own opinion towards what is right and what is wrong, and if they are told more information about one side of the topic, they are likely to follow that side of the topic.
An example of bias would be Right Stuff. This is because they talk about current topics in the news and their own opinions on this. In this clip, you see Catherine Tate be biased as she's favouring that women are just as funny as men.
Representation is when the facts or a person or a situation is shown to you in a certain way so that you know this is important. This is important to the producer to keep to the rule as they want to make sure that when they're talking about a serious topic, you know what this serious topic is and how important this is by showing the background of the topic. This is also important to the audience as by the information being represented in a certain way, they are more likely to understand what is really happening in the current news or how serious the matter is.
An example of representation would be super size versus super skinny. This is because on the show they clearly show you why that person is that size and what they can do to prevent it and be the size that they want to be and be healthy at the same time. So it shows the audience how serious their problems are.
Access and privacy is when the information given to the audience is in the public's interest to know, because they may not always get the information that they want from this topic when on the news, and is usually typically filmed without the institutions knowing. This is important to the producer as they are showing the audience that they're reliable and that the audience can count on them to give them information that they may not get on the news, because these people will not give this information to news because it would make them look bad. This is important to the audience because they want to see information not given to them so that they can get a clear understanding of what is really happening behind closed doors.
An example of access and privacy would be Panorama. This is because they show you things that you wouldn't really see on the news. For example, in this clip, you can see an elderly woman being abused and beaten by her nurses who are supposed to be caring for her.
Contract with viewer is when the presenter promises the viewer in a silent promise that they will give them all the correct, right information on that topic. And this is important to the producer as they are telling the presenter to give the audience the information that they want and desperately need to know so that they can understand what is happening. This is also important to the audience as they are relying on the presenter to give them the information that they want and are trusting them to give them the information without lying to them and in the hope of getting the right information.
An example of contract reviewer would be Natural World. This is because the audience is expecting the presenter to tell them exactly what is happening on the screen and that what they're telling them is actually true to what is really happening.